Well, it's Sunday morning and we're back to our gas tank box. So, morning to everybody. Welcome to Papa's Custom Cars. Today we're going to be working on nothing but the fuel tank, the box for the fuel tank. As you'll notice, she is 12 inches tall. It's not going to go 12 inches down into the car itself. So we've got to measure on the back of the car how far deep we're going to go. I'm betting it's 4 to 6 inches, and then we'll have the overlap of 6 to 8 inches that'll flip over. So we'll have to bend that all out so that it fits in the hole that we've cut in the Nova. I did add all that extra just because I knew that I cut the hole a lot larger than it needed to be. Probably about 2 or 3 inches bigger than it needed to be, mainly because I wanted everything around it to be a flatter floor. We don't need the recess for the spare tire and that other, and the ribs and all that kind of stuff since we're putting in this tank. And then we're going to also sink down, again, that battery right next to it. But it will be in its own separate box from the gas tank. So there'll be a double wall between the two of them. So that'll help us out a lot. Right now I've just got it clamped together, just basically making sure the size is all right. There's only one corner that's not lining up, and I'll just have to make an extra bend in that one, make a little mark on it, just to cut it down a little bit. But other than that, we're going to go measure the trunk from the trunk floor down to the bottom of the bumper. That'll be our depth of our box. Yes, the outlets will sit lower than that, which is fine. It's not an issue at all. It's still high enough where it's not going to be a problem. We are lowering the car down probably 2 inches in the back and 3.5, I believe, in the front, mainly because of all the fiberglass and the 5-mile-an-hour bumper stuff removed. It's lightened the car up considerably. So that's what we're going to work on today. Hang tight, and we'll start by getting our measurements, crawling underneath there, and making sure we've got everything squared away, and then we'll start working on the box. Okay, we're out behind the Nova. There's my hole for my tank. I'm going to climb under here, and we're going to measure out. So from the floor roughly to the bumper, it's about 4.5 inches. So good there. Double check over here. Yeah, about the same, 4.5 inches. So we know we want 4.5 inches. This wire runs the license plate light. The license plate is moving back up where the gas fill was. We're just going to design it a little bit different. So we know we've got to go 4.5 inches is the depth of the tank the tank holder. So that gives me some work to do. So I've got a lot, but out of 12 out of 4, that's going to leave me quite a bit. 8 inches of fold. So we might go to an even 5 and drop down just a little bit, mainly because we're not going to be that low to the ground where we will bump into anything. Shop dog has already taken up his position. Moved from laying in the garage to laying in the sun when it's 100 degrees and this concrete is probably 120. But we're going to head back in and get the garage closed up so we can keep the cold air in and start working on the next part. Okay, so we're back in the garage. Got our part up. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure up 5 inches, and then we're going to bend it this way, which means that the bends that we've already got in place, we're going to have to cut, flatten a little bit, and then make the bend. And that'll give us the bends we need for the trunk floor. So I'm going to run through go ahead and measure them all up 5 inches, mark them, take them over to my press, and get them bent the other way. Since you've already seen me use the press, I don't think I'll have you hang out for that whole scenario. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to do, is measure up 5 inches, mark, cut the lip here, fold it back, and then put the bend this way, this way, this way, and that way. So that's going to be our next task. So I'll bring you back after I've got them all bent. That way you don't have to go through the whole bending routine with me again. I'll be back in a little bit. So just to slip in here real quick before I throw it all back together again. When you're doing your sheet metal bends, make sure you plan ahead. This had to bend down, but because I had these 2 bends already in place, I couldn't get in the brake, so I had to do it and form it manually, so I ended up with a bunch of dings and dents. What I'm going to do on the next set is go ahead and bend these tabs back straight again, and then make my bend and then put these back in. But yeah, I just wanted to slide in here real quick and tell you about planning ahead, because clearly I thought I was planning ahead and I didn't think about the sides. I just thought about this end. So one of the things you want to do when you're fabricating, that way you don't have to go back and undo the work you did and then redo it again. So just throwing that in there. Be back in a few seconds. For you a few seconds, me about 20 minutes. It was a little more work bending these than I thought it was going to be. I had to break out the hammer and the dolly to get this curve back in again. But here it is, 5 inches deep. All 4 corners, I've got them all clamped down now. So the next thing I've got to do with this is go ahead and tack everything in place. Not doing it this week. It's getting warm out. I got the jacuzzi warming up, and the wife will be home soon. So for this week, from Papa's Garage, this is it, all done. Oh, one more thing. Let me go ahead and throw the tank in it so you can see how that looks. 1 second to move a few things around. I need to lift this side up because this is the side with the drop. Excuse me, Bandit. Slide that on back to my lines. Crooked as the day is long. But that's how she'll sit in there. So about half of it will be sunk down. The 5-inch drop that I've got here is about the same drop that's in the gas tank that's on the car originally. So we definitely will pick up a little bit of space. Like I said, over here on this side is where the battery is going to be. I'll put this in place. Once this is in place and all done, then I'll start working on the battery. This I just need in place quickly because I can't start the car without the gas tank in it. But this kind of gives you the idea of everything that's going on and basically how the drop tank will work. If I do end up later on, I can put a cover over the top of it, maybe run a fuel spout out to the side of the car. I haven't decided yet. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. But from Papa's Custom Cars this week, this is it. We'll work on the rest of it next week, get everything tacked in and all that kind of fun stuff. So I will see you next week, in the next video, I should say, and look forward to getting this thing done. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.